And these kids just come in and make their own line. And you're just like, man, like, I don't know you. And so I was talking to my daughter, we're getting our order ready. And these girls just cut in front of us. And so I was like, no, ma'am. And the other girl looked at me and was like, oh, what? And I was like, no, ma'am, this young lady cut in front of me. No. And so like they moved, but it was just like that thing of like, I don't know you. And the first thing out of my mouth, like where I'm thinking out loud is like, who's your dad? Let me go fight him. I want to fight your dad because like, it's just, yeah, like, I can't do nothing to you kids. But you know, it's crazy how like that's the attitude that we have perceived, right? Of kids. And that's why I think a lot of people do not want to be teachers. And so I think it's like maybe kids are like that, but at the same time frame, because that's our only interaction with those kids, man, some people are like, I don't want to be an educator. And then, you know, some people that are educators and you're like, you know, I know some people that are, and it's like, you don't even know how to budget and you're teaching, you know, high school kids. I'm concerned at this moment because if you can barely function in life, you're like, your responsible has to be through the roof. So with those things, like, man, like, hey, you already feel that sense of responsibility, but as you're getting like older in life and you're seeing these things, do you see more of like, man, A, being educators endangered in a sense, or B, like, man, our responsibility is going through the roof because we really have, like, from kindergarten, like you were saying, in kindergarten, these kids are learning, like, hey, sit down, do this stuff. And you start noticing really fast, they're not getting it at home. So what do you think about like how you see everything going through the rest of the like K through 12?
That's a great question. I'll be honest. I think the way we're doing education now isn't really working. The way we're doing it, the whole system, kids are in school a really long time. And we're pushing a lot of content down their throats. And we're expecting them to accomplish a lot. Then we send a bunch of homework home. And then we're asking you, parents, to become teachers and to help them with their homework. Now, I didn't taught them the new fancy math where you just touch the dot and you close your eyes and spin around 5 times. And that's how you do your math. You don't know that. You learn the old school way. But you're the teacher now because I want that homework packet because I'm going to grade it. And if he don't have his homework, Johnny don't have his homework. Johnny about to get an F in my class and then Johnny going to be crying. I got to deal with all that. I don't want to do all that. Right. So there's all of that that's happening. So I would say we need to revamp the way we're doing education. I love that a lot of districts are actually going to 4 days a week, which I think is great. I think that we should open up and have more time for kids to explore, to read books, to do things with their families, to be kids. I think that would really change the dynamic of how we're educating our students. And yes, we want to make sure that they pass the STAR, whatever test it is. But my God, are we preparing them to be entrepreneurs? Are we preparing them for life? Are we helping them with character? Are we helping them with their creative side and teaching them how to write? I mean, old school, how you write a check? Like, if I'm a millionaire, I want me a check. How you write that bad boy? Like, are we teaching that? Kids don't even know how to do cursive anymore. Like, you got to sign your name somewhere. They don't even know how to do that because it's not mandatory, really. It's like, So to answer your question, I think we really need to revamp how we're educating our students, period. You're right, though. It's hard to get a person to say, okay, yes, I want to be a teacher. Yes, I want to make a difference. But that teacher only has a certain amount of time. And you are asking them to do 100 tasks a day, but I'm only going to give you an hour to get this done, maybe 2-3 hours a week. So if I don't, as the school district, give you that time, where's that time coming from? That's coming from my personal life. I'm staying after school. I'm coming in early. I'm working on weekends, and y'all ain't trying to pay nobody. So it's hard to find a group of people that are willing to say, yes, I'll do that. And we're pretending, our society is pretending, Governor Abbott and everyone else, I know after COVID, it was tough. Teachers will come back. Nah, player, you got to pay us. Yeah. Like, you got to pay us. You got to make it worth our while because we're human beings too. And now you're asking me to risk my health, my mental well-being, and my family to teach other kids. And yes, it's amazing. It's a call, but it's hard. And you got to weigh, is the sacrifice really worth it? So I think that's kind of where educators are now. I hope I didn't go too far off on a tangent and I answered your question.
No, it's okay. We got pulled from YouTube for this one, probably. Like, it got like political slander. Not just playing. No. Nah, nah, you're fine. Like, but you know, what I mean, those are real things, though. You know, what I mean, like those are some
Yeah.
concerns, right? Like anybody who gets into industry, like it's we have this thing now with education where we automatically think if you have a degree, you're going to make money, and we've been finding out hand over fist for years now. A degree, a master's degree. I knew I was taking when I was in the Air Force, I was taking college, and I had an actual professor that was a English doctorate, right? She had a doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
And she sat there and said, "Hey, I'm going to die poor, so I'm staying in school as long as I can because I don't have to pay." Because she knew she couldn't afford to pay her student loans. So her, as a professor, as a doctorate professor, her concept was, "I'm going to stay in school as long as I can to get more degrees, so I don't have to pay this because I can't afford it." And so it was like kind of that logic of like, but you have a doctorate, and this is the
Right.
best kind of like, this is what the best you can come up with is just I'll just stay in debt and die in debt. Like I'm okay. Like, and it wasn't like man, I'm gonna die in debt and like I'm bummer. Like this is that was 10 years ago. I accepted that call. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think that's like a bigger issue that we have going on too. Is like